All right, guys, it says that we are live, and we're going to go ahead and get started today. We got so much stuff lined up. I'm hoping we can get it all done with the time that we have. Welcome to Caliber Corner number 35, where you see guns do save lives. And by the way, just want to mention, it is AWAG's birthday today, so let's make him feel good.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday there, AWAG. Can you finally get into R-rated films now where we don't have to escort you in?
Yes, I'm legally, for one whole year, I have been legally allowed to drink myself to death. If I wanted to.
Yes.
We are
Very
so
cool.
proud.
Wait, you're just 21 now?
No, I'm 22 now.
Oh,
I
okay.
am the 22 long rifle of the age.
Gotcha. All right, man. Cool. Today is going to be a little bit different episode. We are just going to talk about warm and fuzzy stories for Pro 2A gun ownership, and I'm tired of all the negativity out there. We can't avoid it. We can't forget about fighting for the cause, but I'm just tired of hearing all about everything negative about firearms and all the lies that are out there. So we're going to bring some truth out there today and just tell a few stories about guns that do save lives. We got a whole just variety of fun stuff going on. Before we do that, let's go ahead and let the panel introduce themselves. So starting on my right, John Z, you want to go ahead and say something, buddy?
Good morning. Thanks for the invite. Glad to be here, and definitely glad to have a more positive discussion.
Yes, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a fun one. Hey, John, do you have anything that you want to plug? A YouTube channel? Anything over on gunchannels.com?
Just go to gunchannels.com, go to the main page, check out all the channels that are there, and it'll give you a better idea of who's on gun channels and all the YouTube channels available to you. So get the names from gunchannels.com until the gunchannels.com page is working. Get those YouTube channels and go subscribe to them, check them out, and give them a thumbs up.
There you go. Yeah, I think the Caliber Corner page is under construction right now. So if you go there to watch the chat on the Gun Channel side, I don't think it's going to open up for you. So I just posted this chat on the main feed of Gun Channels, but do get over there. All right. Let's see. Sandhills, do you want to go ahead and chime in? I know you're driving to work right now, but anything you want to say? Any stations any channels you want to plug at all, or anything going down?
Good morning. Thanks for the invite. It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Yep, heading into work. But you can catch me over on YouTube at Sandhills Shooter. Got a couple videos up there right now, working on a few more. Hoping the schedule kind of slows up a little bit so I can get a little bit more done there. But yeah, other than that, hit or miss Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock Eastern, and of course, Caliber Corner right here Saturday morning, 8 o'clock Central.
Awesome. Okay, we're going to backtrack just a little bit. Looks like Squibby just joined us. Squib, you want to say something? What's going on, man? Welcome to the chat. He's coming. He's getting there. He's working on it.
You caught him unaware.
He might be plugging his headset in. Squib, we'll come right back to you, buddy. Night Strike, anything that you want to promote, buddy?
Shall not be infringed. And I don't know. I don't know. Sandhill Shooter already promoted Hit or Miss, so I can't do that. The Friday Night Strike, 8 Eastern.
Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah.
Oh, and GunTube.
What is the status on GunTube? Are we going to get that launched here pretty soon? Is that going to be coming down the pipe or what?
I don't know.
Okay.
The status is undetermined right now.
So, I mean, if people sent hard drives, could we get it up and running? Is that all we really need is just storage space? Is that the only bottleneck in the whole procedure?
The hard drives would be nice, but the problem is I have to have a server and I have to have I have to have everything. So,
and servers are not cheap, so I get that.
Yeah, so I need a server and hard drives. So
send hard drives.
The problem is that the hard drives I need have to be all the same type of hard drive.
Okay.
Same brand of model.
Yeah, everything's got to be the same. And I do apologize for some reason when you guys are talking, you're not popping up on the main screen. So if it's just me the whole time that you're looking at it, I do apologize for that. But for some reason, I can't get it to go. So
Travis, you'll understand this. It's because of the amount of storage I need.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to make a RAID array just to be able to store all the videos.
Well, it might be time to get the Kickstarter going for this one. Get her fired up so we can get our channel launched.
Is that so you don't break it the way Travis broke me?
Yeah.
Look, man, that's just a legend. That was never really proven. I mean, there.
It hasn't proven, but there were tons of people like Travis P11 decided to transfer all their videos over from YouTube, which I'm making that a GunTube policy. You cannot transfer all your videos over from YouTube.
See, that's just it. VidMe did not have a policy about how fast you could upload material once you were verified. So that's when I just went ahead and honestly, it was a panic move on my part to preserve 4 years worth of work and God knows how many hours of time sitting around editing. So, yeah, man.
Travis, get your own hard drive, download it onto that.
All right, man. All right, we'll call it good. Send me the specs, we'll make it happen. Squib, we're going to come back to you. Squib, you with us now, buddy?
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yep. What's going down, man?
All right. If the sound of the motor's too loud, if you can turn me down, I'd appreciate it. I can't tell on my end.
It's good. Everything's coming in fine. We hear you just fine.
All right. What I'm thinking happened is I came onto Hangouts when I was sitting in the driveway warming up the truck, and as I pulled away from the house, you started roboting. So I'm thinking the Wi-Fi disconnected and it went to data, and that's why you couldn't hear me.
Yeah, it had to buffer and catch up because you lost your Wi-Fi connection when you pulled out of the driveway. Yeah.
And there's another technical tip for the day on Caliber Corner.
Mm-hmm.
So jumping on a little late today because I'm on the road.
Do you have any shows that you want to promote at all, or anything over on gunchannels.com, or anything on YouTube?
Oh, yeah. I'd like to promote Lock and Load Monday nights, 8 o'clock. It's your alternative to Clover's show if you want to talk about karambits, bitcoins, Tavors, the supposed collapse of the global economy, septic tanks in Hawaii, and yeah.
And that just stinks. Boom. All right, so well, Squib, hey man, thanks for joining us. I appreciate you being here. And like I said, it's gonna be a little bit different episode today, and things could get emotional, a little bit heated. We're not gonna be arguing. Today we're gonna be talking about
good
positive gun news. This is gonna. Who knows? We might just get a strike on this video. I have no idea.
Yay, strikes!
Strike! Yay! Nice strike on my video. Wait a minute. What? Okay, moving over to
I'm
Dano.
here.
What is up, Dano? How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
I'm slowly getting ready, although I still got a couple of weeks yet for the Wanamaker Gun Show in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be there again. This will be my second time there, as well as J.M. Davis, as well as a few other little spots in the area. But for those of you out there listening, I'm going to be doing a photo shoot, trying to follow as much as I can the deck of cards that G-Web's put together of the Old West guns, and get as many of those guns photographs as possible and be posting them on Instagram. So if you are interested in that sort of thing, follow me at Instagram, simply just Dano GC for Gun Channels, all one word, just Dano GC.
Hey, Dano?
Yep.
Dano, can I make a request?
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. I don't Instagram. Could you do maybe a short video clip of at least one of the Old West guns where you're comparing the card to the real gun and post it on your channel?
Oh, sure.
Maybe just a short, like 60 seconds or something?
Oh, yeah. I'll be doing some other little things. It's just that's the main thing that it'll all be based on.
Okay.
But yeah,
I think that's a great idea of posting the images with the cards. That's a great idea.
Yep.
And with 5.7 miles of tables at Wanamaker, if you literally stack them end to end, I don't think you're going to have trouble finding what you're looking for. So
Right.
yeah, that should not be an issue. We could do like a gun channel scavenger hunt where we got to go out there and find that gun for you and snap a photo if you can't find it.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I was over on that one table over off to the right.
Hey, if you guys come across a Romanian PSL parts kit without the receiver,
my goodness.
Just send me your wish list, okay?
Yeah.
Just send me your wish list and I'll make it happen.
Okay.
That's fine.
AWAG, do you have any gun that isn't communist?
yes,
He's got
I'm
that
holding one right
thing,
now.
which was former communist. Or not? No, I guess it wasn't. It
Nope.
wasn't at that point.
It's
It would've been
Canadian,
Western.
actually.
Oh, that's
Oh,
just
God.
Canadian. Might as well be.
What, you got a Ross rifle?
AWAG, I have to wonder, are
It
you
is
secretly
a-
related to Bob?
It is a Savage Mark II Model 93. So it's a mix between the Mark II and the 93. It was manufactured in Canada, but it's made as a Mark II. But it's not a 93. But it is,
That
but
is
it's not.
interesting.
Cool.
That is interesting. And it's not
Very
that I
cool.
don't want you to have a PSL. We all want a PSL, but
Oh,
it's
it's on the
just
bucket list, right?
You go on about it
And
all
yes,
the time.
I do
AWAC's
have
Tommy Gun Junkyard somewhere in New Jersey.
junkyard. I make mine works of art. Thank you.
Except that AK-74 that blew up.
See, I'm getting
It
him
did
warmed
not
up to
blow
be for
up.
a heated argument later.
It totally blew up.
It did not blow up.
All right. So moving on here, Jim, how you doing? Good morning. You're joining us from the beautiful state of Texas. How are things in your neck of the woods?
Kind of sneezy this morning.
Oh, I know. It seems like down south we got that spring pollen coming along, and things are getting a little heavy on the allergies, huh?
Oh yeah, it's that time of year where if you have a black vehicle, it turns kind of a sickly yellow green.
That tree pollen coming on, I guess. I don't know.
Oh,
Call
yeah.
it swamp green.
It's
Swamp green.
it's pine trees.
Mm-hmm. All right, man. So, Jim, anything you want to plug? Anything coming up on your channel? You gonna get out to the range this spring a little bit now that it's drying out a little bit, or what's
Yeah,
the plans?
I've got a few ideas I'm gonna throw out there. It's a matter of getting my work schedule settled down and getting some time to edit videos and put them up.
It does take time, man. I'll tell you what, you can put serious time into it if you want to. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, thanks for being with us today. Like I said, it's gonna be a different episode. We're not gonna be theme or topic based. And last but not least, we got the birthday boy, AWAG. What's going on, man?
Hiya, I have survived 22 rotations around the sun.
Oh, I thought it was 44 because Earth's flat.
Oh my
No, I'm
god,
just-
wait a
I
minute.
have
Wait,
no
the Earth
clue.
is flat.
I have
Does
no
it still
clue.
move?
Well, with the Earth being flat, you have to go up and over. You don't go around. Don't forget.
So I've survived 22 squares around the sun?
Something like
Exactly.
that. I guess that's how it works. I don't know. The fact they can't explain magma to me tells me the world is still round. So, yeah.
Hey, Wag, I knew you were young, but I didn't know you were young enough to be one of my kids.
Yep, I'm still a baby.
You got a lot of gun collecting ahead of you, man.
Yes, he
I
does.
know.
Yes, he does. Now that he's old enough to buy guns.
Yeah, by the time
Yeah.
you get to my age, you're going to have 10 times as many as I do.
Yes,
I think you got a good start going there.
And they're all gonna be commie guns.
You got a basement at your parents' house?
Stop. I own 2 ARs. I own 2
you
ARs
go.
that I built.
That see.
Hey, I like
that-
commie
Give him
guns.
half a bayonet
So,
load.
is the W in AWAC for Warsaw Pact?
Yes. And the first A is for America.
There
All
you
right.
go. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
There
With
we
the
go.
1,000 after it. That's 10 to the 110th power times 10. Yes.
That
Go
is
work
the
in
10th
math.
power.
That was your best subject, was it, Travis?
Math in America. No, it's not. No, it's not. Oh man. All right. So let's see who's joining us today over on the YouTube side. We got a lot of people already over there. Like I said, I apologize. Hope we get the gun channels page up and running here. So we've got Clint joining us. We got David Bowling joining us. I apologize if I butchered the names. Ben Farrell's out there, the original Cracker P11 Jr. John Z is there and here. We've got Rob D out there. We've got Midnight Range. He's busy cooking breakfast this morning, and I guess he's got a video coming up that he said that he was up just burning the morning midnight oil.
Oh,
this
he
video
posted
until 3
that
a.m.
video already.
Oh, it's up. Oh, I haven't had a chance to look because I was sleeping. Yeah, I'd only been sleeping for 15 minutes at 2:45 this morning. So yeah. Let's see. Anisa Cooking is joining us. Welcome. Oh, Anisa Cooking and Beauty. John Z is there, and her Gunpowder Beauty's with us. Good morning. Make sure you go check out her channel and her podcast. Grim 90's out there. He survived the school week. Daryl Pulaski's out there. Let's see, what else do we have here? A lot of people. SS Pond is with us. Stan is out there watching this morning. Thank you, Stan. Stan, I took that Heritage Rough Rider out. Had a lot of fun. It was very cool. Got a lot of videos coming up on that. 50 caliber Karma is joining us today. There's a ton of people out there this morning. You guys must not have anything better to do than hang out with us old guys. Vanessa Kitty, hello, good morning. Calaveras 32 Special is out there. William Stanley's joining us today. On and on and on. Scott Pacini, Garage Guns. I think that's about everyone. Everybody gets a gold star today. Everybody gets a ribbon.
There's a name missing. There's a name missing from that list.
Who's not there?
Somebody wake up Sean Connery.
I don't. I have trouble tracking people down on gun channels because I'm trying to learn the whole new layout. If they're not on my little bottom bar, I sometimes can't find them if they're not active or not on. So
Yeah,
he's probably
on.
sleeping. He's probably sleeping right now. He's
Yeah,
enjoying.
he's probably sleeping.
Yep. Oh man. So anyway, I was thinking about today's topic and what we could discuss. And this is not like a single specific topic episode like scopes or magazines or holsters or whatnot. Today we're gonna have an episode that's gonna hit you in the feels. As a gun owner, we got something that's gonna give you the warm fuzzies. So I entitled today's episode "Guns Do Save Lives" because 1 out of every 100 stories on the news is a positive story about gun owners, and we're gonna go way beyond that. But before we do anything else, Nice Rick, I'm going to kind of let you lead this one. I'm going to post a video link over on the YouTube side here, guys, for everyone to check this out. This is a video that I want you to show your friends, your enemies, your family members. Take 7 minutes out of your life, and I want you guys to go watch the Nick Freitas speech if you get a chance. Now, I want to warn you. I want to give you a heads up. This kind of material is the kind of thing that can cause people on the left to start shaking or have convulsions, and they might even soil themselves when they get done watching it because it's that
it causes them to leave the room.
So this is my disclaimer to you. If you watch that speech, it's going to give you chills, man. It's going to give you spine-tingling chills of goodness. So, Nice Rick, what can you tell us about this speech,
Let them suffer.
He basically tells it as I've been saying it for years. So, watch it. I can't do it any justice. Just watch it. It's good. It's good.
I mean, it's simple logic and truth, and you can't argue with it. It's just like, he's right. He's right. Guess what? He's right. And so, as I find myself getting less and less patient with people that don't want to listen to my pro 2A standpoint, I'm trying to keep things civil, trying to educate myself, arm myself with information. This is definitely a good way to get started. It is a very, very cool speech. I'm not going to show it in this chat, just copyright reasons and whatnot, but I put the link over there on the YouTube side. You guys need to definitely watch that when you get done with this. So, oh man, crazy stuff. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started here with the first little story that we're going to talk about. This is kind of a fun one, and I'm not going to do a screen share on this one. It just says Facebook and Google block ads for gun locks. And what happened was Facebook and Google have been kind of pulling back on their allowing advertisers for the pro firearm thing. And in the process of doing so, they ended up blocking ads for gun locks, for safety devices for firearms. And I think that's kind of funny that they thought that they were trying to do the right thing and actually shot themselves in the foot, so to speak, no pun intended, by doing that. So what do you guys think about that? A little bit of overreach on the part of Google and Facebook. So essentially, what's that?
I've heard a couple of stories now, and I haven't seen links yet, but I heard somebody in a podcast I listened to talking about how Google went so far as to ban the word gun from advertising that they killed stuff like Burgundy. So,
God.
Yeah, they kind of ham-fisted it up front. So I don't know if they've drawn back from this much yet, but it's pretty hilarious and ironic at the same time.
Do you think it's simply the bots? It's simply they're searching for anything in any sort of.
Well, that makes the most sense for a place like Google. They're not necessarily doing all of this manually. They automate everything they can. So
yeah. So somebody didn't plan on that one. I got a feeling somebody might end up maybe taking a loss on that one a little bit. I don't know. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah, and I'm sure they'll right the ship, but they're not gonna stop blocking straight up gun ads. I don't think.
So that makes me wonder if they're Google and they want to search every word that has GUN in that order in the word, whether it's gun related or not, do they actually Google it or do they go to somebody else? Who's their higher power? I mean, if Google can't get it straight, I'm a little bit worried that, that's the go-to for everybody for internet stuff.
Well, why do you think YouTube has been taking such a pounding from people? Because they're doing stuff and they're not thinking it ahead. They're like President Trump said, they'd rather take your rights away first and then look into it later. And that's just wrong.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's just kind of interesting to see what kind of how things are going, and it's just odd. I'm just surprised that they even want to try to nix out that type of potential revenue. I guess I would just ask the question: what is the problem specifically with having gun advertisers? Of course, they probably have their higher dollar advertisers that are dictating what they should or should not have on their in their advertisements and all that fun stuff.
Well, Hawaii Volcano Squad was saying that Procter and Gamble is a big advertiser on YouTube, and he said boycott Procter and Gamble to show that you're not happy with them pulling these gun channels because of the advertisers are the ones that are driving this. And I was kind of like, well, that's kind of impractical because they make damn near everything we use. It's just like the whole Walmart not letting anybody buy ammo until they're 21 years of age. I can't tell somebody, hey, don't go to Walmart, because that may be the only big store in your town or in your county. What I decided to do with Walmart is I'm no longer going to buy anything in their sporting goods department, but I'll still shop in the other departments, and I may go to our local competition, which is Meijer. They're slightly more expensive, but I may go to them more often and just not spend as much at Walmart. But you can't cut off Procter and Gamble. I mean, they make what, toothpaste
everything,
and laundry soap.
And I don't feel like learning how to make my own soap anytime soon. I'm not going to go full pioneer.
If you do, go on to Oiley's Humble Home, and she has a video on how to make lye soap.
Okay. Because I remember reading about that on Little House on the Prairie, the Laura Ingalls Wilder novels when I was a child growing up, but I just didn't know if that was really my thing. But it might have to be pretty soon. And, that's a good point about the ammo, them raising the age. In the town that I live in, it's a city of 10,000. I have 3 places that I can think of where I can buy ammo in stores. We've got SS Pawn, we've got Walmart, and then we have Orscheln's, which is like Tractor Supply Company, like TSC. And I think that's basically it. I don't think there's anywhere else in town where I can buy ammunition. So 3 locations for 10,000 people.
That's actually not bad.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you go to bigger cities, bigger towns, you can buy. Well, and then the other thing is there's a Walmart every 5 or 10 miles in some of these suburbs, and you've got more gun stores, and you've got sporting goods stores and things like Academy and whatnot. But
David Bowling says if you need toothpaste, Alex Jones is selling it.
Does it have the what is that? Does it have silver in it, or what is that stuff that he promotes? What's his big deal?
No, you can't use tap water then, because it'll turn the frogs gay.
Oh, geez, here we go again. The tap water discussion. Yeah. Oh man. All right. So up next here, here's another good one for us. How requiring a gun can impact your crime rate. This story was just posted yesterday on bearingarms.com. It talks about Kennesaw, Georgia, that has an unenforceable but
where I used to live.
Yes, you used to live in Kennesaw?
Yes, I lived before I moved to South Carolina. Guess where I lived? Kennesaw, Georgia.
This is good because this would explain why you are the way that you are about your firearms, why you're so pro 2A. They have an unenforceable but present town ordinance as of 1982 when this was written that says that every home is required to have a firearm in the home.
Where is that?
Kennesaw, Georgia. It's an unenforceable city ordinance that was presented back in 1982, that it's still a very present thing that people in the town are proud of. Now, just because of that, or a lot of people are saying it's
a suburb of Atlanta.
Yeah. They've got 33,000 people, and they've got a violent crime rate that is less than 2%, and they've only had 1 murder in the last 6 years.
That's awesome.
So you don't even, just having the gun can save lives. Not even having to present the firearm or use the firearm can save lives. Now, you're going to say, well, that's just an anomaly, right? Well, 15 minutes away, they've got Ackworth, Georgia, and they don't have that ordinance presented. They don't have it there. And they have an above average crime rate. They've got a higher murder rate than Kennesaw. Now, it's apples and oranges. I mean, you could have a completely different, I guess you could say maybe like fiscal demographic. You could have more poverty, which could be linked to higher crime rates. You could have more restricted gun laws in that city or that suburb. But I just thought it was kind of interesting that when you have the push to have guns present, you don't have the gun crime. You don't.
And I just want to remind everybody. So you have all these positive statistics. These are factual things. But then you also have things people can do. Oh, I don't know, like take your kids to the range, you go to the range,
Mhm.
try different firearms. There's always more positive to it. How awesome is that?
Yes, exactly. Because when you teach the children to respect the firearm, and you are responsible as a gun owner yourself, your kids are going to turn out fine. And unless there's something psychological that happens to the child, or some sort of medication gets put on the child, you can probably expect your kid to turn out fine. No, you should not have to worry about any kind of a gun issue in your lifetime. I mean, because you raise your kid the right way,
And don't worry about the tap water. It only affects the frogs.
No, exactly. Yeah, it's just strictly the frogs. So that's something you have to worry about. Real quick, guys, those of you that are over on the YouTube side, if you have any gun questions you want us to answer for today, because it is a little bit of a free-for-all episode of Caliber Corner, go ahead and put that up there, and we'll be happy to answer. We've got a very well-versed panel here that can cover just about anything that
Long range and
might be out there
AKs
that's
come
gonna
to
pop
me.
up. What's that?
Long range and AKs come to me.
There we go. Yep, anything you want to know. Just let the birthday boy know, and he'll take care of you. So.
Yay, birthday boy.
Okay, now I guess a few other people are posting some things about the ammo purchase. Well, I've only got 3 places, and I'm in a town of 45,000. Okay, I guess, I don't know. To me, when I go out of town, say when I go to Texas and visit family, I mean, you've got a gun store every couple miles. You've got a Walmart. You got an Academy Sports. You've got all these places.
I've got PSA.
The idea here is if they're going to raise the age to 21 for purchasing ammo. And I don't know where I heard this last night. You think about that. When they raise that purchase age, you might have servicemen and women that are not 21 that are coming back from service, and they have families. And if they raise that 21 age for ammo and firearms, there's a chance that they can't buy those things to defend their family. You might say, well, they're to purchase and not to own. Well, what if they don't have somebody else that will buy it for them? They don't have immediate family that will buy it for them.
The places that they put that into effect already, they don't have a Part B to that if you are in the military, law enforcement, and all that stuff.
So what's going to happen down in Florida with the reforms?
I got news for you. If you're in the military and you're under the age of 21, you don't have enough money to buy guns and ammo. So that there in itself, the low pay is enough to deter somebody in the military from buying that. I mean, I'm kind of joking about it, but it is true. Until you start getting up there in rank, which also comes with age, with time, you can't afford that stuff. You're more worried about feeding your family and fixing your car than buying a gun.
And I partially disagree with what you're saying, because if you have a wife or a family that you're supporting, yes, that's true. If you're single, you don't have a spouse, you're not making child support, not so much.
Yeah. You can't keep it in the barracks with you, Dano. So
you have to have.
You can't keep it in the barracks.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I lived in the barracks.
Yeah, you can't keep a firearm in the barracks with you.
So what I was saying before about the having the Part B to that rule, Travis.
Yeah,
it was a question. It wasn't a statement.
Yeah. Oh no, I agree. And I hope that there is. I hope that there are exemptions. And many times, even for for concealed carry in many places, that Part B, that exemption to the rule for law enforcement and military, supersedes what the law might be in that area, whether it's buying ammo or carrying firearms.
Or at least it should, yeah.
Yeah. It's me getting emotional, man. I'm sorry. It's me getting emotional.
Hey, Travis.
Yo, what's going on?
I was just curious, not right now until we get to it, but I'm kind of curious to see what everybody else's thoughts are on the really scary aspect of this. Not the way it is right now, because right now the ban is only on the purchasing at that age. But what's going to happen when they start changing that over to possession? So right now, if you have an 18-year-old and they can't go buy their own rifle, but if it's their birthday, then you can buy them a rifle and gift it to them, and that's still perfectly legal. But what are we going to do when it's not even legal for somebody under 21 to possess firearms or ammunition? And then when that's not enough, they're going to raise it to 25. And then, we're just going to keep losing things again. So I don't necessarily want to hijack your chat right now, but I want to hear everybody else's thoughts on that.
I was going to transition into that, and then we got that. Let's go talk about that, because there's a question that somebody posted on the YouTube side. So we'll kind of focus on the Florida gun, whatever they want to call it, Save Yourself Act, whatnot. What do you guys think about just everything in general, about the purchasing age, the owning age? What's going to happen if they up it to 21? You're 19 or 20. You've got a whole safe full of firearms. What are you going to do?
I don't think it's going to change much for too many people. As far as if they think it's going to reduce crime, it won't reduce crime. This isn't even something that's effective for reducing crime. And as far as somebody who's, say, 19 years old who wants to have their first shotgun for hunting or something, all they really got to do is ask their mom or their dad to buy it for them and then gift it to them, so they can abide by the law. They're not breaking the law until, like what Sandhills was saying about the possession. When they start with the possession, then it's gonna get bad. But I mean, once again, most people that are 18 to 21 don't have enough money to buy guns or buy a lot of guns. I'm not saying they can't get their first gun or that sort of thing, but it's a pointless law because it's not going to reduce crime, and it's really not affecting. It's not affecting just an age bracket where you've just got this disposable income. Or I don't agree with it. Please don't take it the wrong way by me saying this stuff. I don't agree with it at all. I think it's crap, but I don't see it impeding somebody who's in a family that's pro 2A. Now, if you're for guns and you can't wait till you're 18 to get your first long gun, and your parents are absolutely anti-gun, yeah, then it's going to impact you, I would say.
Hey, Travis, before you go on, Steadley saying he's coming off loud. Could you lower him maybe one step down?
Who's that? Who's coming?
It's probably me.
Yeah, Squib.
Oh, okay.
I have something that that basically it kind of goes along the same lines as firearms, but it's not my personal experience. It's one of my friends. My friend turned in New Jersey. You used to be able to as soon as you turned 19, you could buy tobacco. Now he's into like vaping and stuff, which I think it's cool. I wouldn't do it myself. I don't have the money or time for it. But other than that, is he turns 19 and he got his first vape thing, and then like a month later, New Jersey passed a law that made you have to be 21 to be able to buy anything that has nicotine in it. And he's like, "Yo, dude, this is just so raw." He was like avid. He's like very, almost like angry about this. He's like, "Yeah, I can't even get any of the parts that I can't even get like batteries or anything because it's made for a thing that involves nicotine. So he can't buy anything for what he has." Now I know you don't really have a constitutional right to smoke, essentially, but he was really, really upset that he got caught in that little almost purgatory area of the age law.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much along the lines of what might happen if there was a federal law that involved that, because that would definitely be very problematic. Because if you were to have, I know people that I went to high school with that are 18 and 19, and they moved out and they have their own apartment or their own house in one instant, and they really can't protect themselves. Like if you had one of my friends, she's going to school for the fashion design or something, and she moved out and she got her own house because she got a job and making clothing for a fashion line, and she's making quite a bit of money, but she's still like 19. She can't like protect herself from her house if she needed to.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you change the age like that. I mean, it's the 18. I know I've heard a lot of podcasts here recently. Like, what's considered a legal adult? Why shouldn't you raise it up to 21? When I was watching, was it Tack Daddy's podcast? There was a huge discussion over what's so wrong about raising it to 21. You know, and then what defines an adult according to the Constitution? What are you defined as an adult and this and that? But to me, 18, it's the point where you're basically out of high school. You're more or less a legal adult in terms of the law. Again, you've got the, buying tobacco products, serving in the military. To me, 18 is you're a big boy at that point, upping it to 21. And again, the whole idea about this is that it's not it's not going to fix the problem. And you might say, well, it would have prevented that kid from buying that gun. Well, you know,
His parents
in
bought it
certain
for him
areas,
anyway.
and the kid had it before he wasn't even 21 anyway. You know, I don't know. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Because I mean, if a person wants to do harm, they're gonna find something to do harm. If they don't,
Right.
and you're gonna say, well, you couldn't kill 17 people with a kitchen knife. Well, in a crowd school of 3,000, when people are screaming, running around, you can probably do a lot of damage. I mean,
There's a guy in China that killed 30 people and injured another 100 with a knife.
Yeah, and people just
or this guy, he might have known somebody who had firearms and knew where they kept them in the house and could have known when they were at work, broke into their house, stole the firearms. And I mean, it's really not that hard. I mean, the simple fact that the guy he was living with bought a cheap gun cabinet and then he didn't even know it had a second key and the guy had the other key. First off, gun cabinets suck. If you've got a gun cabinet, that's fine, but they suck. You can pop them open with a screwdriver. So that's irresponsible. Secondly, if you have a safe, you better know dang well who's got the combination of that thing. Don't just give it out to anybody, and don't write it down and put it in the dang junk drawer where anybody can find it. Big letters on a piece of paper on an index card where it says safe combination. I'm just saying, there are people that are that dumb. They'll go, hey, I'll get this safe, and then I'll give everybody in my family the combination, or I'll make the combination my birthday, and everybody knows that. Sorry, I'm turning into my southern drawl because it's kind of the hick thing, but I'm a hick, so I've seen this shit. It's like, no, you don't give that stuff out. I just think it was irresponsible for the guy to say, we drove all the way over here to get a locking cabinet for his guns before he kept them in my home, and then I didn't even know it came with a second key. You idiot.
Okay, we do have a question on the YouTube side. I wanted to get back to this. And again, going back to the positives here, can anything be done to stop the damage that's being done or been done with the recent Florida legislation for their SAFE Act or whatever they're calling it? Is there anything that can be done at this point to fix the situation, or is it going to take a complete change of representation of, at what point, how can this possibly be changed? How can we save Florida is the question I pose for you guys.
That is what can be done. The voters can do something about it, but unfortunately, they're stuck for a while.
Yeah.
Well, there is a lawsuit against a certain part of that bill already.
It goes back to what I was saying on Night Strikes chat here on Tuesday night. The politicians are not living in fear of the population anymore. It's the other way around, and we need to change that because we don't work for the politicians. The politicians work for us, and it's time that they got reminded of that.
If I can just throw in my 2 cents here, is the precedent at a legal level has already been set in regards to the Second Amendment in regards to 18, 19, and 20-year-olds when they split long guns from pistols. As far as they are able to restrict by age. So that has already been set. So,
but isn't that blatantly discriminatory as well?
Well, it's been there for a long, long time, long before me.
Well, the important distinction now is we're moving towards all firearms. So you literally have no Second Amendment right in 18 and 20.
Trying to put a historical perspective on it, because that's what the courts will look for.
Yeah. I don't know. Hopefully things can be changed, but we'll have to see where things go. I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen.
It's going downhill. Sorry to say it, but it's going downhill.
Let's go ahead. Let's get back onto the more positive note.
Here's one. Okay, and on a lighter note, Gardena, California police found several guns and a cache of ammunition at the home of a high school student who threatened campus violence. In 2 social media posts this week, authorities said. So,
holy cow! You mean they investigated it and did something?
When California does their job, when people actually care, you can stop bad people from doing bad things. Isn't that amazing? It's an amazing
concept. Fantastic. Awesome. Tell me more.
Yeah. So I'm betting nobody paid these guys off, huh?
But there was also a downside this week with California. But we won't
Night Strike. No downsides, only upsides today.
So what happened? I'm oblivious.
The team posted a more specific threat Thursday saying the violence would take place on campus. Detectives arrested the team, who was not named, on suspicion of making criminal threats and possessing a firearm as a juvenile. So again, when law enforcement does their job, you can save lives. All right, it is possible, and I mean, again, we're not. I don't think any of us would disagree that a lot more could have been done to prevent the Florida shooting. All right, I know that a lot of things were done to try to help that kid, but no, law enforcement would have done their job. Things probably would have turned out a whole different situation. And I heard stories down in Florida about SWAT guys that wanted to go in or did go into one of the buildings and ended up getting reprimanded or suspended for doing it, for not following protocol. But
I call for super serious investigation by the federal government on those upper people in charge who told them to stand down and or who reprimanded any officer who does their job. And I commend any officer who does their job as it should be done without question.
Ben Farrell had
Oh,
go ahead. That's fine.
No, I'm good. I was
Okay.
just saying I agree 100%.
Ben Farrell over there, as you guys know, he is a high school student. He had kind of a scary situation. He had said that there was a girl that had posted some threats or said that she was going to do something at his high school. And Ben, let us know what happened. Was she arrested? Did people act on it? Did students act up and report this person? And people actually cared enough to stop them? He said, there was an incident in my school on Tuesday where a freshman thought it would be funny to prank call my school saying she's going to shoot it up. Look up Broadneck High School on Google. So if you have children, you might want to let them know that gun threats or something that because you're going to have a lot of copycats in the wake of all this stuff going on.
I don't want to get negative on this, but the politicians in law enforcement, not actual politicians, when you allow the politics to affect your job, you allow people to think they can get away with these things. That's why police and federal and state officers all need to know that their bosses got their back and they will do their jobs 100%. And don't give people the wrong idea that they won't be prosecuted. It doesn't matter what age you are, you need to be dealt with regarding your actions. And there needs to be repercussions.
Speaking of repercussions, what about that lady that wanted to be a senator and cut that and made the illegal SBR?
She is now under investigation, which is another warm fuzzy positive story.
That's
actually,
awesome.
Even though she surrendered it, she still committed the act. But I guess the question I would have for you guys is, if you cut that, it's not a functional firearm because it doesn't have the necessary parts to make it functional. But if you cut, is it really still an SBR if you destroy the weapon?
Because the receiver is still intact.
Okay, well, good for her. Good for her.
Some people would say nothing. Some people would suggest nothing would happen because they were in the process. But the problem with that is all you see on the video is them doing that one cut. And that's why anybody who does that should be under investigation and should have to deal with government up their butts 24 hours a day till they're cleared, because they should know better. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse.
I'll tell you what, if she posted that video on YouTube, I think we should all go over there and flag it, because that's a video that definitely deserves to have a strike when they instruct you on how to commit a federal felony.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, to break down that even more is that it is an SBR because it still has a rifle length buttstock. Okay. And it's the receiver and the upper are still intact with the short, less than 16-inch barrel.
Yeah.
Therefore, it is an SBR.
Right, and it'll still function. It's a single shot rifle, but
it'll function.
There you go. All right, more warm and fuzzy stories for you today. Going down the list. And if I mispronounce these towns, you guys are gonna have to correct me. Oswego Township, Illinois. Does that sound right? Oswego Township.
Oswego is correct.
Okay, there was we had a couple people that were in that. One person attacked another person with a knife, and there was somebody, a witness was watching this confrontation going on, and somebody was actually stabbed, and this person ran and grabbed their AR-15 from their apartment and stopped the knife attack or the finishing off of the victim with only a threat of force. The witness had both a valid firearms owner ID card and a concealed carry permit, which shouldn't matter, but they did, and so a brutal attack can be stopped by the evil black gun AR-15.
What are you talking about? The AR just didn't fire just like that?
All it had to do was show it off, and it prevented that person from any other human being.
Children?
Wow.
No. In fact, it saved lives. It saved lives. Isn't
Oh
that?
my
If
God.
you look up a YouTuber named Argo J, AAARGOJAY, he has a story about how he used his AR-15 without firing a shot or pointing it at anybody to thwart, I think it was like 5 guys or something that were trying to get into his house. So
Yeah.
you can use it as a deterrent without actually having to kill somebody. Amazing.
Yeah. I mean, it's what do they say? An armed society is a polite society. Is that the expression that we sometimes hear? Is that what
Well, it isn't just that. It's that the rifle itself, because of its ability to fire semi-auto, and because it has a reputation, and because it's accurate and easy to move around and things like that, somebody, whether they're trained or untrained, is going to look at that as a way to turn you into a bigger threat than if you were just standing there with a handgun or with a knife or with a cell phone on the phone to 911. I'm not saying that you cannot defend yourself with your fist or a handgun. You can. But that rifle, as well as actually being able to provide you a better defense in certain circumstances, it has a psychological effect. Even on the trained person, they're going to say, maybe I should just leave.
Yeah. Yeah, unless somebody is under the influence of something or completely irrational.
Right. Right, in which case
it's
all
probably
bets are
going
off.
to do the job. It's probably going to work, you know?
David Bowling says his AR sneaks out at night to hang out with his girlfriend.
Is his girlfriend an AK?
Oh, I don't
No.
want to get too personal.
It's a Yugoslavian M72. What?
Oh my God.
He's into
So
them
they're
big
gonna
girls.
have one of those mixed caliber babies.
They're gonna have a SIG
What
5.56.
would be a mixed caliber between an AK and an AR? What would that generate? Like a
It would
like
generate
a 30
SIG
caliber, like an
5.56.
M1, like
No,
an M1
no.
carbine,
6.8.
30.
It would generate an AR like 7.62 by 39.
Well, no, because you got to
The
split the difference
AK-15?
between it. You got to split the difference between the 762 and the,
Be like a
the
6.5 or
5.56.
something.
So it would
6.5
be a 300
Creedmoor.
blackout.
6.5 Creedmoor, baby.
No, it would be
some weird wild
a
caliber. What's that?
It'd be a 300 blackout because you
Yeah,
get the 7.62
There
and
you
then
go.
the case of the
Yeah.
That's like
5.56 Neo.
And then people will look at it and go, "Oh, you look like your mom." No, you look like your dad.
Exactly. When a daddy AR and a mommy AK have a baby, what do they have? A 300 blackout? I mean, that's there you
A
go.
300.
Oh,
It's
no,
a
no, we
300
shouldn't.
blackout SIG 5.56.
Exactly. That's just an awful joke. I'm just digging myself in a hole today, guys. I apologize. On a lighter
It's all
note, let's
good.
get back to the positive news. I have yet another story. This one was just posted yesterday on bearingarms.com. 2 Tennessee firearm trainers are offering to instruct teachers. They're going to offer the fast training for free to any educator in their state that wants to sign up for it, because apparently May 19th is National Train a Teacher Day. I have never heard that before, but I am all for it. That is, can I take a day off of school? Because we're still in school on May 19th. I might be calling in sick.
Can I ask a question now? It's
Yep.
fast training. Is that like full semi-auto training? Because that's illegal now, you know.
I think it's ghost gun training is what it is. They learn you how to they teach you how to fire 60 rounds in 1 second or something. They learn you how.
So they teach you how to be invisible, right?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Your ghost gun doesn't show. They show you how to do an 80% lower and everything. So yeah, no, but I think that's awesome. I think it's cool. And we had a discussion the other. I don't remember when it was. I'm losing track of all these discussions. We had a discussion about what should teachers pay for the training? Who's going to pay for the training? If you could get some pro bono voluntary hours on the terms of law enforcement or concealed carry instructors or whoever to offer free training teachers that want to do it, I think you're going to have a lot more people sign up than you realize. And again, guys out there, please understand, not every teacher, I might be an exception to the rule. You might not have seen another Pro 2A public high school teacher or public school teacher, but there's more of us out there than you think. You've got former military, you've got hunters, you've got gun shooters and sport shooters teaching at every grade level. All right, there's more of us out there than you realize that are in favor of getting armed. So just don't assume that we're all just leftist liberals, because that's not the situation. But
and I think it's awesome that there are people out there willing to do that, because those classes are not cheap.
No, it can get expensive. But again, we would avoid the whole argument altogether if we eliminated gun-free zones and allowed concealed carriers to carry at their place of employment, including the classroom.
Absolutely.
And I know there's more density, there's different building dynamics when you're in a school versus going to the mall. Whether I carry at a packed Walmart on a Saturday or I were to carry in the classroom, what difference does it make? You know, and if you want me to go through some training, I'll go through some training. I'm ready to. So,
And you know what's great about allowing people to exercise their right no matter where they are? It gives them more incentive to, oh, I don't know, maybe get training on their own.
Yeah. Oh, I would. I mean, the only thing that I disagree with what they passed with, was it Florida that had pushed through, if you have 120 some hours, you can get a special permit to carry in the classroom. Or if you have to either be former law enforcement or former military. I just think if you had enough training, okay, to handle the fire alarm, threat assessment, medical, with enough training, not necessarily the 120 hours, but I think with enough training, any human being would be capable of defending a group of human beings with a firearm. Okay.
Absolutely.
I just think that they have this ridiculous, because I'm doing that. That's like 3 weeks worth of training you would have to go through. And I mean, that's a lot of time and you can do it in the summertime. You got your summers off, do it in the summertime, but still. Yeah. What's up?
I agree with your whole, if you can carry in Walmart, why can't you carry in the classroom? Because the same level of discipline and the same understanding of the law as far as brandishing your firearm or how you're supposed to secure it or when is the absolute, you don't just pull this thing out for everything. You only have to employ it as a last resort, blah, blah, blah. That's all in concealed carry training in the states that require that. What you could do as a educator or as a staff member of the school is simply do a day long or a half day long coordinated training with the local law enforcement, where they go over their procedures with you guys so you know what to expect once law enforcement enters the school, how long they're going to take, what they're expecting. You come up with a simple procedure where you're in the classroom with everybody in the corner and you're there pointing at the door with your firearm, and they literally beat on the door and they go, Lexington Police Department, and you reply with Mr. So-and-so, and they go, put the firearm on the ground and turn around and face your students, and we're entering the room. And then you go, okay, I'm complying, and they go, we're entering, and they enter, and they go over that in the half day or 1 day training, and now you guys have a procedure, so you know the difference between law enforcement and the shooter, because the shooter could come in there impersonating a cop. The shooter could come in wearing body armor or get a uniform or something like that. There's always going to be some sort of scenario where there could be a mistake or something like that. But this is simple training, and local law enforcement in my area offers this stuff to businesses for free. I can't believe they wouldn't offer it to a school for free.
Yeah, what you're saying about
this 3 weeks of training is unnecessary. That's where they're going to go, oh, well, it costs too much, so we just can't do it. I want my kids safe.
Jim had posted some stuff on our internal chat here. It says the bill would create, and this is in Florida, would create a $67 million Marshall program under which certain employees, including counselors, coaches, and librarians, but not full-time classroom teachers, could be trained and armed. So it says the program would be voluntary. At this point, if that's what it is, I've heard so many different things about what their arming of teachers is going to consist of in Florida. I'm just going to sit and wait until the bill is finalized and all the amendments have been made to it to see what the actual language states. Now, again, in Nebraska, it doesn't matter because in public high schools, they're gun-free zones. Teachers are not allowed to carry. Only law enforcement, military are allowed to carry on within the building.
The governor signed that bill, though, so it's in.
Yeah, no, I was just trying to see. So, I mean, so now there won't be teachers that are able to get armed from the bill. Is that what I'm seeing from what you posted, or
they are severely limiting it to who they basically pick?
I mean, my wife's a librarian, and that's cool because she could definitely pack heat and shoot way better than me. I'm cool with that, but
I read that it was designed to be a compromise because the governor does not want the teachers armed, because he wants to progress with his political career, so he wants to keep the voters happy. He doesn't want the teachers all being armed, but he understands that their measure of safety is going to be necessary. So he's like, well, not the teachers in the classroom, but the librarians, the janitors, the principals, the counselors, we'll go ahead and let them have guns, just not the actual people that are going to guard those students every day in the classroom.
You know, and I want to let one off the chain here for a second. Nobody's ever asked me if I wanted to be armed. I like how all these higher ups that don't actually spend any time in the classroom assume that I don't want to be or need to be armed. And I don't like people making that kind of decision for me. I can understand if you work for a business and company and they don't allow firearms on the premises or by their employees, but I've never actually seen a survey or a questionnaire or gotten a phone call, or anybody's from the higher up has never said, hey, would you like to be armed in your classroom? Would you like, just people just assume that they don't want it. They don't want, but they're not there with me. They're not in that classroom. They're not doing that lockout drill, feeling vulnerable. They don't understand. And so I'm really getting tired of this. Well, we don't want to see teachers. We don't, but nobody, and here's what really drives me nuts. I am a member of our state teacher association. I talked about this on Night Strikes chat a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was a Friday Night Strike chat. The NSEA, National, or NEA, the National Education Association, and the Nebraska State Educator Association came out and said, we don't think that teachers need to be armed in the classroom. So these people that I'm paying dues to, this association I belong to, assume that I don't want to have a right to defend myself. And I don't understand who made that executive decision. In fact, I'm seriously considering going to our state delegate assembly to speak out against this proposed language that they want to push through. 3/4 of the language is about how to handle a walkout situation with students if they want to protest. One little paragraph, I mean, it says, we want to make sure that there's no illegal guns in school. We want to make sure that people are prosecuted for bringing firearms into school, which all this stuff already exists anyway. And then the one paragraph, we don't think that teachers ever should be armed in the classroom. They're not with me. They're not in that classroom. They're not in my building. Just because they have a nice, secure, locked up building in Lincoln, Nebraska, doesn't mean that I should not have a right to defend myself. And again, all this is a moot point anyway, because Nebraska state law doesn't allow it. So speaking as a teacher, and I'm sorry to go off on this, I am just, nobody's ever asked me. They just assume that's what I want to do. I mean, Squib, that's like me saying, hey, Squib, yeah, I don't think you should ever have to do this, or you should ever be able to do that. Making a life choice for you, but they never actually asked your opinion, you know?
Now, Travis, what you're saying needs to be said, and it needs to be said by educators and staff members at our public schools. It needs to be said. It needs to be out there. People need to understand that concealed carrying out in public isn't really much different than concealed carrying in a school, and that a fighting chance is better than no chance at all, because all you're going to do is use your body as a shield. If that guy wants to kill you and everybody in your classroom, he will. And if you don't have a way to repel that violence with force, then yeah, you just become another number. And you're thinking of your student. You wouldn't hesitate if one of your students collapsed. You wouldn't hesitate to do CPR. If you happen to be at in the gym for some reason, and one of your students was swimming in the school pool for gym class and they drowned, you wouldn't hesitate to jump in. If you were walking out into the parking lot and one of the kids got in a car accident, you wouldn't hesitate to go over there and render assistance. Why wouldn't you hesitate to employ a firearm at a moment of last resort to save their life? You would. So what's the difference?
Yeah, it makes absolutely, and I'm just incredibly disappointed that, I mean, like I said, I'm looking forward to going to our delegate assembly, and I'm not going to go as a representative of my school. I'm just simply going as somebody they have an open forum, and you can speak in favor of, or speak out against any proposed language. And I know I'll probably get booed out of there, and that's fine. But again, like I said, nobody's ever asked me if I want to be a soft target. Nobody ever said, hey, you know.
The thing is, Travis, if you be number one to speak up, how many other educators across our state are going to also step up? All it takes is that first person to stand up. And then pretty soon you're going to find out who your friends are. Not necessarily actual friends, but you're going to find out who the like-minded educators are in the NSEA if you do go and speak up at the state delegation. And then you're going to also raise that awareness, because yeah, probably by now there's not a lot of educators that haven't thought about it anywhere in the country. But once some of these people find out that, hey, there are other teachers that think like me, I'm not the only one, then they're going to get a little more emboldened as well to also speak up and say, hey, there's a lot of us that would just as soon not die and just as soon not watch our kids die in our classroom.
Rob D and George Cortez mentioned in the on the YouTube chat, arming the kids with level 3 armor as uniforms, or having the backpacks with the
seriously,
with the bulletproof backpacks. Now, I don't say that's a bad idea with the backpacks.
Yeah, the panel.
The problem with that is you want to give people the option. You don't want to force that on them, but also you want to give them the additional option of self-protection, and that would
And if the
come by
backpack
the
is in their
teacher.
locker, it's not going to do any good. Or
And
if the backpack shields their torso and they get hit in the leg
like I
and they
was
bleed out
saying,
waiting for EMS, it does no good.
Squib, like I was saying, you want to give them that option, but you don't want to make that their only option.
Yeah.
Yeah, but John, when you put that out there, people go,
There-
"Oh yeah, I'll just
There's
buy
no
the
option. There's
insert
no
for my
but.
kids."
There's no but. It's a very side option. You're not taking
No,
away
because
any
when you
of the
put that
other
out there,
options.
allowing the staff the choice to be armed comes off the table.
Okay,
You
we're
put that
trying to
out
be
there.
positive here. We're not trying to think negatively. So
Yeah.
the
I'm
positive
just saying
is that those options
that's
are there.
That's their way to say,
because
"Oh,
they're
look,
not
look
looking.
if a
They're
body
not
armor, but the
looking
teachers
to
don't need
arm
a gun."
anybody.
All
Right?
right,
They
guys,
don't want to arm
we got it.
anybody.
We got it.
Okay,
It's all
somebody
good.
needs
We
to-
get it. We get it. It's just escalating, so we're fine. It's all good, guys. It's no, and again, it's an emotional issue, and we don't know what kids would do in a situation like that. And there's no magic solution. I'm sorry, except to arm the teacher. So we'll go ahead and move into another one. I got Mel the Nut just sent me a little article here. Another good story. Would-be carjacker was shot and killed by concealed carry holder outside of a Milwaukee business. Police have released the identity of a 21-year-old would-be carjacker who was shot and killed by his intended victim early Monday. Let's see. The person was a convicted felon. They were armed with a gun trying to carjack a 24-year-old man who was heading into work shortly before 6 a.m. So again, another situation where guns, might cost a life, but it saved the good guy's life, right?
That's a go team moment right there.
Exactly. Oh, I got more. I got way more. That was Mel the Nut that sent me that one. He just emailed that one to me. Another one that we got, is this the one? Okay, in Lakeland, Florida, an alleged intruder kicks in the door and was greeted with a shotgun blast to the chest. The suspect, 19-year-old Gabriel Jacobs, allegedly kicked in the door around 3 a.m. Sunday morning. The homeowner was a 66-year-old Michael Ives. Warned Jacobs numerous times before shooting. Ives said that he first made contact with Jacobs by yelling through the door that he was armed, warning him not to come in. After Jacobs allegedly kicked in the door, Ives warned Jacob not to come closer. And then finally, he let one off the chain. So, two actually. It's a double
Play
shotgun.
stupid games, win stupid prizes.
There you go. So there's another situation where, I didn't hear about this one on the news, and here we've got some, got an elderly person here, an older person that,
Am I wrong for thinking this? But if you have the mentality of taking something that's not yours with the intent to do harm, you immediately lose your right to live.
Yeah,
Am I wrong for thinking that?
Again, stupid games, stupid prizes, and that's pretty much what it comes down to. So,
if you're in my house at 3 a.m. and you kicked in the door to get there or broke a window or whatever, I'm not assuming you're here for
cup of sugar,
a cup of sugar, or to chat over coffee.
And I'd just like to throw in a quick point here is I think any approach should be a layered approach, and some of the layers are going to provide more than others. And I think that goes to a little bit to what John was speaking to earlier. It's not it's just a part of a very, very much of a layered approach. And it's a very small piece, but it is something, and something's better than nothing as long as it has an effect.
I got a little joke for you here. Midnight Range put this one over on the YouTube side. I'm not sure that Grim 90 should be allowed to carry He's the Damn Reaper for crying out loud. It's a definite conflict of interest. I don't know. If he had his thumbnail, like tattooed on his forearm, and he was a teacher, I'd be like, I'm not going to mess with this guy.
Isn't he already in violation in most jurisdictions, just walking around with that big old blade?
No, because it's not concealed and it's a farm tool. I mean, it's a sickle, so it's used for harvesting.
It's an implement. Okay.
His intentions are clear from the get-go, so you can't blame him for that.
All right, let's see here, guys.
I guess true. He's not actually, the Grim Reaper doesn't kill people. He just, once they die, he takes them away, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's pretty much just kind of cashing in on the plans that have already been laid out. So, let's see. Got another one for you. Let's go to Chicago, where we never, ever hear any stories about good things happening with people defending themselves with firearms. Chicago concealed carrier shoots a robber. Let's see. Chicago Police Department says a robbery suspect is dead after allegedly approaching a legal gun owner demanding property, being shot in the head Monday evening. 23-year-old suspect was armed when he walked up to a 58-year-old legal gun owner and attempted to rob him. Police said the older man pulled out his gun and shot the suspect in the head. Oh my God. Now, I'm kind of curious about that, though.
Using your head.
If the person doesn't walk up to you with a weapon and you do that, then obviously there's going to be some liability there because you're, I don't know. I guess how do castle doctrine things, you know? What's that? Depends on the threats.
Depends on what is said, as well as disparity between, you know, if you're a 50-year-old, 8-year-old man, generally speaking, and there are some exceptions, I assume, but it's pretty darn easy for a 20-year-old man to pummel to death a 58-year-old man.
Oh, yeah.
Just with his fists.
Oh, yeah. I just want to remind
you know, this is another one of those cases where words matter. What did he say? You know, give me your money or I'll kill you. Okay, that's all it takes.
And I just want to remind young people that's not the way to use your head these days. So please don't.
No, it's not.
Disparity of force is a real legal concept. But you know, you have to be clear in its use and not exaggerate either your lack of capacity or the capacity of the person who says something to you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's all going to kind of depend on the context of the situation and what was going on. Was the person armed or not? I mean, sounds like the person that defended themselves was not arrested or anything like that. Supposedly, yeah, the person was a concealed carry holder, had their concealed carry permit. Now, they might have been not a resident of Chicago proper. They might have been a suburb or maybe another Illinois resident, and they're just simply in the Chicago area at the time when it happened. You know,
but even then, because I've been in that situation, you still have to comply with the city of Chicago rules in regards to magazine limits and things like that. So when I go there, I have to be aware of what their limits are and comply with their limits, even though I'm within the state and have a license to carry in the entire state.
Okay.
Well, thank God you have a right to carry, because in some states you really don't have a right to defend yourself at all.
Yeah.
Right. New Jersey, New York. I mean, there's some states that don't want you doing anything. So thank God there are some states, as bad as they are, you still have the right to defend yourself.
Okay. Exactly. I mean, exactly. It's still there, but it needs to be expanded. I'll tell you that.
Amen to that.
Got another one. Woman awakes to suspect standing by her bed, shoots him dead. A Houston, Texas woman, here you go, Jim, who awoke to a suspect standing by her bed on New Year's Day, grabbed a gun and shot him dead. Now, this is an older story. The incident occurred at Mirabella Apartments. The woman heard the sounds of broken glass when she looked up and saw the suspect standing by her bed. He began to close in on her, so she grabbed her pistol and fired a shot, killing him. So whoever just charged their firearm, that was a good sound effect for the story. It's like a radio show.
I like how you started that story with a rhyme.
Did I?
Yeah.
I guess I did. I shot him dead. Grabbing. Okay, there you go. I guess I did.
Got him dead in the head.
Welcome to self-defense gun story time with Travis P11.
Poetry with Travis P11.
There you go. I'm a poet.
Don't ask him to do math.
Let him fly with the
fly.
Don't ask me to do math exactly. I know it's bad enough I called one of the bullets in my video 225 Valkyrie, and I completely.
That's the new caliber, and I hope to get one soon.
I was thinking 5.56, trying to say 224 Valkyrie. Last thing I want to say about my videos, I make the big mistake of doing them all in one take, especially if it's a cell phone video.
Travis, bullet shaming, really, Travis?
I just go with it. I was thinking, and I correct myself in the subtitles, and I put it correct. I'm potentially trying to prevent trolls because people, when you're a YouTube content creator, I mean, you sneeze wrong or fart in a video, people come after you. They're just like road rage on you in videos. How could you say that? Oh, and I'm like, dude, hold your fire, bro. It's all right. It was a simple mistake, you know. And
it's a good thing I don't do a live chat while I'm eating salad. Wow. That would be bad for everybody.
Oh man, tell you exactly. It's just. People just, it's like they're behind the wheel when they're posting comments on YouTube videos. I mean, people just go nuts. Like, dude, calm down, man. It was just a little mistake. And I'll pin the comment, correct myself when the video comes out because I know I'm going to hear about it at some point. But anyway, moving on. Here's another good one. NASCAR legend Richard Childress shoots at home invaders. 3 masked men attempted to break into the home of NASCAR legend Richard Childress Sunday night, reports CBS. Greensboro, North Carolina affiliate WFMY-TV. That is our source. The sheriff's office said that a window was broken beside a doorknob on the lower level of the home, which activated an alarm. Investigators said Childress fired at the 3, but it doesn't appear that they were hit. They all got away. Oh, that's a shame. The castle doctrine in the state gives people the right to defend themselves against home invasions. Why they would even want to kind of try to come in when an alarm's going off. Why would you even potentially risk it? I know you got 2 or 3 minutes before the cops are going to show up to do whatever you're going to do, but that just blows my mind that they'd even try to enter.
Travis,
2
or 3 minutes?
Yeah.
More like half an hour at earliest.
True that. Well, it's Richard Childress. He's a millionaire. I'm sure he's got some suburb security. But anyway, at least he did something to defend himself.
But also think about it from an automotive standpoint. Is he's a NASCAR driver. He would probably have some really cool cars. All you got to do is steal the keys to him, and then you got a $50,000 car right there.
He's not a NASCAR driver. He's a NASCAR team owner. One of his grandson's sponsors on his car is the NRA. Richard Childress is a well-known avid gun collector, hunter, and pro-gun guy. It would be suicide to break into his house. He's got more guns than Wanamaker. I mean, the guy goes on African safaris for fun at the whim of he is a big-time pro-gun guy and has been like that for decades. And if you live down south and you know anything about NASCAR, you know who Richard Childress is. Now, the guy personally, he's a jerk, but I would not break into I wouldn't break into the guard shack at the end of his, at the edge of his property or something. I mean, that guy, he's got lots of big guns.
Yeah, why would you break into an unpleasant guy with a gun's house?
There are a lot of stupid people in this world, and unfortunately, a lot of them are criminals.
I'm pretty sure stupidity is a disease.
It might be, but unfortunately, we haven't locked that down yet. So let's move on.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the next one. People are putting gun-related poetry now over in the chat. We need some gun-related haiku. We've got roses are red, violets are blue. If you kick down my door, I will shoot you. Sandhills, that's a good one. That's a bumper sticker right there.
Hey, here's one that my favorite one is sweet as sugar, cold as ice. You cross me once, I'll shoot you twice.
That's a Hallmark card right there.
That's Hallmark quality right there.
Yep.
The Travi Poetry Corner.
Yeah, Travi Poetry. Do some pro-gun poetry. That'd be awesome. Yeah. Midnight Range is making a pretty good point. Childress probably has a ton of memorabilia out there. Smash and grab would be lucrative. Yeah, 2 to 3 minutes, you can pretty much ransack the house, especially 3 people going into the house, Yeah,
but the problem is that the people that live there have guns and are there already. You're kind of fucked.
Yeah.
This guy shoots elephants on the weekends for something to do. I mean, you're not going to get out of there without gigantic holes in your body.
Well, these people casing it did not do the research. Tardout said these guys obviously don't watch NASCAR.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
One way to find God.
Do you think Richard Childress keeps his 600 Nitro behind the door as his home defense rifle?
Jeez.
Probably. I wouldn't doubt it.
That's funny.
I sure wouldn't want to stare down the barrel.
I do not. No. I don't even want to stand behind the darn thing.
Neither do I. I want to be like 7 miles in the opposite direction.
All right. Next one. Suspect violates protective order. So it shows that pieces of paper don't stop bad guys, but guns do. Suspect allegedly violates a protective order, dies in backyard after being shot. So a suspect who allegedly violated a protective order in an attempt to enter his ex-girlfriend's home died in the backyard after being shot. This happened in Kentucky. Again, why you break into somebody's home in Kentucky makes no sense to me, but 57-year-old Marcellus Custer was allegedly trying to force his way into Jackie Hess's home when her boyfriend opened fire. Hess said she and her boyfriend told Custer to stop before shooting. What is wrong with people? Why would you continue to advance on somebody holding a firearm? Do you think you're just going to ninja the gun out of their hands or something? I don't understand.
You know what they should have done there? They should have made it illegal for him to go there. Oh, wait a minute. They did, and it didn't help, did it? That law didn't really mean much.
And again, it said he had been threatening her and her boyfriend, texting and calling them both repeatedly. I mean, good God, people. I mean,
you mean a law on a book in some courthouse somewhere didn't stop a crime?
I'm afraid not.
You mean text in a book?
I know.
The only solution is more laws on more books. That's the only way to stop that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you mean like the one where a 20-year-old single mom couldn't get a gun to protect herself from one of these idiots?
Right. That one. Yeah. You know what I'm curious? Now, I'm not a parent, but I know a lot of you on the panel are. when you're raising kids and you put a rule and they break the rule, do you not punish the kid? Do you just put more rules on? Well, you're grounded and the kid sneaks out. Okay, so now you're grounded for 2 more weeks, but that's it. You don't do any other measure besides just give them extra groundings? Or do you do something a little bit more stiff next time when they broke that rule?
You keep escalating it until, well, I mean, I got to the point once where my son looked me in the eye and said, "Is that the best you can do?" And it took everything I had not to escalate it to something.
No, boy, get over here. You take that.
That's a woodshed
Yeah.
moment right there.
So, but now
So what you're saying is it could have been a teachable moment, but
son.
you got to
that
think
boy
back
was
to
not
when
the
you were.
smartest.
You got to think back to when you were a teenage boy and how you were pumped full of testosterone and you thought you knew everything and you're trying to
I minded my
defy
parents because
authority.
I found early what would happen if you don't. So whoa. Speaking of minding your parents, I did not do that. I swear to God.
Travis made half the panel disappear.
I'll show you respect, boy. Yeah,
We got NSA'd.
Travis,
Well, that's
use your
where,
magic to bring them back.
What's
when
that?
physically a male child is now somewhat similar to the father, you need to change, instead of using the old-fashioned, intimidation routine, you have to say, would you like to continue to live here starting now?
Okay.
And literally, but you have to say what you mean and mean what you say. You can't do the idle threats.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I will start pulling your stuff out and pack, and I won't pack it for you. I'll just put it on the curb. You can
I
pack
don't
it out
know
there.
I don't know if it's an old story or a new story. They had a story on Facebook. This kid was bullying someone in school. The dad makes the kid walk to school back and forth. No bus, no car. He makes the kid walk. And I think that's awesome.
Yeah, you've got to, as a parent, you've got to get creative. You've got to be willing to use tough love. It sucks. You feel like crap after you punish your kid, but you do it. And you've got to stay consistent, and you've got to explain why you're doing it. Don't just say just because. And even when it's a difficult time, you've got to show them that there's a reason that you're trying to raise them to know right from wrong, so they don't turn out like this, dirtbag who shot up a high school or anything else. You're trying to, and they don't understand, and they're not going to understand until they have kids of their own. I mean, believe me. Right. But we were all teenage boys once, and we all remember how we were. So you can draw on that experience and try to use it to outthink your. I never had any sisters growing up, and thank goodness I don't have any daughters. I wouldn't know what to do with girls. I just defer to my wife. But as far as young men, pumped full of testosterone, willing to defy the world, yeah, bring it.
Rob D says exactly what I was thinking. Parents have to be parents, not friends.
Right. And part of being a good parent, preparing them for the outside world is having them understand that there's real consequences for real bad behavior. And that starts early at home. It starts with the groundings, but then when they're like 16, 17, then you have to go to the, and not idle threats, the serious stuff. And I don't mean beating them. I mean, because they're too big at that point to try to challenge physically. You may have the skill, but they have endurance. You're no longer 20 years old at that point.
That ain't going to stop me.
Okay, well, yeah, and if you want to destroy any relationship you have with your child, just go ahead and beat him at 16 and then see how you feel, 10 years later.
I'm just saying that if he's 18 or 19 years old and he wants to get in my face and say, I'm young and strong and you're old and weak, and be like, you want to find out?
Well, no, but you don't need to even get that far. I mean, it could be as simple as what I mentioned earlier. It's like, you own the house, you live in my house. It's my rules or the curb. You make the decision. Let them make the decision, and then the consequences fall where they may.
Yes, I agree with that.
Young too. You got to have that. You got to have that respect and that discipline instilled in them when they're little. Otherwise, they're never going to know it. They're never going to learn it.
I mean,
yeah.
Because if you're still challenging them by the time they're 17, then you're setting them off as an adult as the physical violence way is the only way to ultimately settle things that can't be settled with words. That's the message that's being sent.
Hey, the world is not a pretty safe place, Dano.
No, but your boss doesn't threaten to beat the shit out of you, does he?
What I meant, sorry guys, I got booted. Now I'm back. What I meant, kind of when I first asked my question, I wasn't meaning to open up the whole discussion of whether we should beat the kids or not. But
Oh no, that's
really,
not, no.
really, what I was getting at is if you've got a non-compliant child and they've already expressed no regard for the rules of the house, does putting more rules up on the list of rules do anything to that kid? No.
It
pisses him off and that sort of thing. But
And
But it's the same in society when we've already got criminals who, by definition, have no regard for law. Therefore, more laws do nothing to the criminals, just like more rules do nothing to that non-compliant child. You have to go out in a different way, and you have to make real consequences. That if you break the rules that we already have, bad things will happen to you. You will lose privileges. You will lose, whatever. But not just add more rules with no follow through on the original rules. Is what I was getting at.
Everyone is pretty much in agreement on the chat side, and I agree with them as well. You have to start early. You don't want to get to the point that once it's too late. You don't want to get there. Do your job as a parent when the young people are young, not when they get older.
The problem is we're all preaching to the choir here, I think. And
exactly,
if more parents across this country had already done that, we wouldn't be in the situation that we are in a lot of areas in this country.
You might be right.
In a way, there's this thing that I read about. I believe it was called Project Exile. What it is if you get caught with a firearm or you do a firearm. What is it? You break the law with a firearm, you lose everything, and you're punished very, very harshly.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, I did have another. Let's see, build an ice wall, flat Earth style. There you go. I did have another person go ahead and send me a link or send me an article here. This is another one. We can maybe end on this one. Another good guy story. So here we go. We're going to go on down to Mississippi today. Escapee is shot and captured after Wednesday morning carjacking. This is also one of those lessons that people need to learn because I think it can be prevented maybe. Starkville, Mississippi, a Houston man who escaped from the Mississippi Department of Corrections was shot during a carjacking Wednesday morning and was taken into custody in Webster County soon after. So you got to hear about what happened here. It said inmate Eugene Robinson knocked on the door of a Webster County home at 8 a.m. This is where the guy made the mistake. The homeowner refused to let Robinson inside but offered to drive him into town. About halfway through the trip heading south on Highway 9 near North Lake Circle, Robinson attempted to stab the driver in the side and told him to exit the vehicle. The driver, who had a concealed carry permit, fired 6 rounds at Robinson, one of which hit Robinson in the back. After going through the truck's windshield, Robinson drove the truck to Eupora and then to Matheson. Webster County employee who recognized the vehicle then followed the truck, and it goes on and on and on. There was looks like some sort of a high-speed chase that took place. What's going on? He says he stayed behind the truck. He kept us updated on where it was and where he was until we could all get there. So this guy followed the vehicle and recognized the pickup truck and knew that wasn't the driver. Let's see. Then he saw a bunch of work trucks with their lights on and must have spooked him because he turned around in a driveway and came back to Matheson, and then they got him. So he was treated for his gunshot wound. It looks like he did live, but he's probably not going to get out of prison again after this. He's been in prison since 2003, serving a 30-year sentence for armed robbery and burglary, and a $2,500 reward was being offered for his capture. So people, I guess, didn't know that this person was out there, or if he was from another state, you'd probably not know anyway. So again, just another example of seeing that guns do save lives, and that's the whole idea about today's episode. So guys, you got anything else that you want to add at all? Anything kind of out there that
yeah, can you see this? Yeah. Welcome to Ohio.
Sorry.
I am on my way to Columbus.
All right. You got visiting family or what?
To a rally, man.
Oh,
awesome. Got to support our friends to the south.
Yes.
And I believe we have a few other people from gun channels on their way there too, if not already.
That's mighty neighborly of you there, Squib.
Yeah.
And you also got Kasich, your governor, also a ex-presidential candidate. Going to get doing some nasty stuff in Ohio as well.
So if you're in Ohio and you're listening to this and you don't know about it, find out and get your butt over there.
Yeah, it's at the Capitol building in Columbus at 1 p.m. So it should be a lot like the one that Smeggy and I went to in Lansing last year. I mean, the layout as far as where to find parking and all that is probably going to be about the same. So
Right on, right on.
I wasn't sure that I was even going to be able to do this until yesterday. That's why I hadn't said anything before now, because what if at the last minute things change? But yeah, I'm able to get down there. I won't be able to stay there for the whole thing, unfortunately. But yeah, we got good people in Ohio, and Ohio typically has pretty decent gun laws. And what they're trying to do right now is a bunch of crap.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so again, you get out there and get to those rallies. If there's a neighboring state and you can make it there, or if there's one in your state, you definitely need to get there. It's going to be happening in the next couple of weeks because, again, we see the legislation that's being pushed, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And we're still going to have these problems. And the thing is, the crimes are still going to be committed, and when they're committed, they're just going to want to restrict gun laws even more. And it's not going to fix the situation. All it's going to do is limit the rights of the people not committing the crimes. But again, nobody does research on who actually does the crimes, you know. So just at this point, it's just crazy. All I can do is just say, stay vigilant, stay active in the community. Again, be the good guy in the situation. That's what it's all about, or the good gal, for that matter. I guess probably the most important thing. So Ellis is with us. Ellis, are you just listening? Are you? What's going on, buddy?
No, I've been here for 45 minutes.
Well, no, you can speak up and talk anytime. I mean, it's cool, man. I've been kind of bouncing between the chat and emails and articles and stuff. So. Any good guy stories you want to share, or anything you want us to keep in mind as we go into the weekend here?
Stay home.
Stay home.
Don't go to restaurants. Stay home.
They use tap water.
Don't let people in if you don't know who they are. Don't open the door to strangers, and don't drive them into town. All right, call them an Uber, call them a Lyft. If they refuse to leave, call the law enforcement, because chances are, if they're trying to get in your home, it's probably not a good thing. Yeah, crazy stuff, man. So no, but Ellis, honestly, I knew you had shown up, but I've been so busy bouncing between like 10 different streets.
That's fine.
I feel bad. So, guys, you got anything else? Yeah, go ahead.
As ugly as you are, I can understand why you feel bad.
Yeah, it's funny that you say I'm ugly, but you look more and more like me every day. I want to.
Well,
every time I see you, you look more and more like a Travi every time I see you.
We both look better than midnight. So there's that.
Dude, he's got an epically awesome beard, though. I would love to have that kind of foliage going on. I just think that would be awesome. You know,
Ellis DeGeneres is the last one that should be pointing fingers at anybody.
Here comes the name calling. Here comes the name calling. All right.
Hey, Travis.
Yo.
I'd like to say something about these Second Amendment rallies,
yes.
In the past and in the future.
Yes.
Some people on our side think that maybe people shouldn't open carry at the rallies if open carry is allowed in that state. Or if they do open carry, they shouldn't open carry an AR-15 or an AK or something to that nature, the evil rifles, because if something should happen, it's not going to look good, or it just may not look good, or just.
Well, don't the rallies in general don't look good to the other side anyway?
Well, wait. What I'm saying though is, I understand the people on our side who say it doesn't look good to have a bunch of guys in camo with AR-15s at these rallies. But this is what I say to that. I say, if you want to tell somebody that the law in their state says they can open carry an AR-15 on the Capitol, you're going to tell them don't do it. You're just as bad as the people that want to pass these ridiculous laws that don't stop crime. And I'm not trying to say that in a way to saying something negative about our people on our side. It's just take a second to think about what you're saying. If you're saying don't show up in camo with an AR-15 because something could happen and we just don't want that or whatnot, think about what the lawmakers are saying. They're saying the same sort of thing. You can't be trusted with this. So if you're saying somebody on our side can't be trusted with it at a rally, you're doing the same thing. So just think about what you're saying. And the other thing is, I had some preconceived notions about that until last year. When we showed up in Lansing, there were guys that had camo head to toe, AR-15, some with bump stocks and SIG braces, They had body armor. One guy had a hunting knife on his chest rig. I mean, some of these guys looked like they were ready to do tactical entry, right? Single point harness, the whole 9 yards. They didn't do anything. They never flagged anybody with their rifle. Nobody charged a charging handle and yelled, "Shall not be infringed." They didn't go up there and start spouting anti-government stuff. It was, by the time it was over, I was like, these guys are normal guys just like us. And I changed my opinion completely on it because, like what G-Web says, there's X number of million guns in the country that didn't commit a crime today. Well, if you have a right to carry a semi-automatic, detachable magazine-fed rifle openly in your state, and you want to do it at a rally, do it responsibly. Don't make an ass of yourself. But if people get exposed to this stuff, they'll see we're not a bunch of yahoos. We're not a bunch of criminals. And these things are not dangerous if they're in the right hands. So,
yeah, I think Matt's biggest when we had the Texas rally, Matt was talking about that subject, and I think he discouraged that. But I think his biggest point was just don't make an ass of yourself. You come like a normal person and behave like a normal person.
If taking somebody who's on the fence about guns or is anti-gun to the range and letting them shoot gets them to start thinking differently about firearms. Maybe it doesn't change their opinion, but at least now they've got a little experience now. Or maybe they go, that's not as scary as everybody said it was, or something like that. Seeing somebody standing around with it not doing anything kind of has, in my opinion, the same effect. Oh my goodness, he's going to do something. 2 hours later, he hasn't done a damn, or she hasn't done a damn thing. Oh, well, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe they're not all a bunch of mass murderers. No, we're not. We're normal people, just like you.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the deal. And
think about a guy you see on a Harley with the leather and the beard, and he looks all rough and tough, and he looks like he's out of the Wild Bunch. Guess what? That guy's got a desk job during the week making 6 figures. He just rides the Harley and wears the leather and that sort of thing on the weekends. He's a normal guy. He's not a threat.
Yeah, it's not good to make an assumption about anybody until you get to know them.
Well, I'm just saying, if you give it a chance, you may change your mind. You might not. But if you see somebody like that, just notice that over the course of the rally, they aren't doing anything. Then it might make you a little bit more comfortable with it. But just understand that when we say in our own camp, don't do this because it looks bad or it might look bad, then you're saying the same things the politicians are. You can't be trusted with this. You can't be trusted to have self-control or whatever.
No, they're all valid points, man. I agree with you completely.
Here's the thing that you got to remember about these rallies. If you're at one of these rallies and the opposition shows up, and there's a great chance that they're going to, there are certain traps you do not need to fall into. Don't get in shouting matches with these people. That they use emotion. They are going to try to trigger you. That's what they want. They want you to get mad, and they want you to. They will get in your face. They will throw shit at you. They'll spit at you. Don't fall to that level, because that's the trap they want you to get into. Because if you fall into it, then they have you. Well, this guy had a gun and he's just evil. He swung at me. No, don't make that mistake. That is a mistake that they want you to make.
I will tell you this. When I am armed, I am usually a lot more polite. I'm a lot more calm. And I think about what I say and do a lot more. I'm not armed very often, but when I am, throughout my life, or my adult life, when I have been armed, I have sort of a different attitude. So I can't speak for other gun owners, but I would say there are probably some other people out there that suddenly this responsibility that's on your shoulder or in a holster on your belt or in your purse or on your ankle or wherever it's at, it's there. You feel it. You feel the weight, and it makes you think.
Exactly. Yeah, you know it's there. You know what that responsibility means and what it does to you. Guys, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up with one last good guy story. This one's from Jim on our panel here. South Austin homeowner holds an intruder at gunpoint, said he was ready to shoot. This is an interesting story. A couple woke up to a stranger standing in their bedroom with a stick and a knife in the middle of the night Sunday. Richard Prieto, 32 years old, is charged for burglary of habitation with an intent to commit assault. According to the arrest affidavit on March 4, 2018, this just happened a couple days ago, Robert Rodriguez and his wife were asleep when they woke up to an unknown man holding a stick and a steak knife at the foot of their bed. And apparently this guy kicked the door in, but they didn't hear anything until the person was in their bedroom. And the guy says that's when he heard someone talking and thought it was his son. He felt his wife nudging him. When he woke up, he saw Prieto holding a steak knife from their kitchen and mumbling things that didn't make sense. I sat up and said, "What the heck's going on?" And the guy says, "Hey, man, my wife is under the house and Chuck Norris is waiting for me and I'm having a hard time." So as a firearms owner, as a concealed carrier, as somebody doing a home defense, you might want to just hold off on a second and see what the deal is. Rodriguez, a former sheriff's deputy, said that when his law enforcement training kicked in, he said, "I'm just slowly reaching for my weapon." And he's talking, and all of a sudden I grabbed my gun and I trained it on him. I said, "Drop the weapon." The homeowner said with his gun in one hand, he used the other to dial 911. He warned Prieto that if he made one wrong move, he would shoot. So this is a good guy trying to do the right thing. He even said, "I had every right to kill him. I was ready, and I swear I would have. Had he come at me, I was ready. I had my gun fully loaded with 15 rounds in the clip and one in the chamber." But anyway.
Clipazines.
And so it was ready to go. Under Texas law, Rodriguez had every right to take the necessary steps to protect his family. He said he was glad he didn't have to. So again, not every person that's a gun owner, not every concealed carrier wants the burden of ending a human life on their consciousness, right? On their conscience. And so, not everybody's we're not all just Army wannabe SEAL guys, I mean, we're just people like anybody else. We just wanted to have a right to defend ourselves. The guy said once they're in your house, you could pretty much shoot to kill. Yeah.
So the story about this guy that responded was also like an ex-general in the military, apparently.
Apparently, I don't know. I guess.
Well, he did use a clip, like
Yes.
anyone would.
Well,
Yes,
I'll
yes,
give him.
yes.
I'm giving him a pass on the clip because he did the right thing.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, exactly. We won't hold him for that. I just kind of caught me off guard. I'm like, come on, man, you're ex-law enforcement, a magazine. But anyway, you might not be thinking about
You
that.
won't, but I will because
of
I'm just that kind of person.
Yep.
I'm going to call out the people that are worried about the fact that somebody says the word clip. You know what? I don't think in my mind it's any different than the people that say it's a truck. No, it's a pickup. No, it's a truck. No, it's a pickup. It's a clip. It's a magazine. The old school people called them clips. We're still calling them clips in a lot of places. I say magazine. Well, I have ADD, so I usually shorten it down to just mag. But I don't really care what you call it. You're meaning that little thing that goes in the pistol grip that feeds the cartridges into the chamber. So that thing, 15 rounds in it.
Yeah.
So there's a tipping point there somewhere because you want people who are talking about proposing firearm restrictions or whatever. You want them to have some degree of knowing what the heck they're talking about and competence with the subject. So maybe clip versus magazine doesn't matter so much, but then you get into these guys who are like, full semi-auto and purposefully deceptive for the people who don't really know what's going on. And, so there's a tipping point there somewhere.
And the only reason anybody's
One
doing it now is to lighten things up because this is supposed to be a light Saturday.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, no,
yeah,
but I mean, that's a
And
good
it's my
point, though,
birthday.
is that on our side, especially on our side, we should have our terminology correct. And if we're getting it wrong or we got old bad habits, it's probably a good idea to break out of those because we need to sound educated.
And
it does matter when you're doing legislation. It does. I mean,
And
I
you're
hear all
all
kinds of
right
people
about
say magazine, and what they really mean is a detachable magazine because all guns, unless they're single shot, have some sort of magazine. It could be internal or it could be detachable. But some people, when they're talking about magazines, they really mean a detachable one. They're being specific because they're talking about a law, and that law has nothing to do with an internal 5-round box magazine.
And Sean Connery says there's a blue pill for that, by the way.
Never go full.
The way that I've always thought about it, if I'm talking to somebody or if I'm listening to somebody on the news or whatever, you can tell by the nomenclature that they use how educated they are in firearms. And we all know that the sad fact is most of the people that are determining the laws on firearms have never touched one.
Yeah.
I'm not a car guy, and you can tell within 5 minutes of talking to me about engines that I don't know anything about them, other than I know not to look for spark plugs on a diesel. But aside from that, that's about all I know. I can change my oil, and that's about it.
Furthermore,
But
the people
how
that come up
often
with,
do you change your muffler bearings?
About every time I fill up my blinker fluid, usually.
I'm not saying to use
good
the
answer.
terminology to push somebody away. What I'm saying is to use the terminology to get it more mainstream, more common, so that we sound educated, and so that when they are trying to do legislation, maybe if it's more mainstream, they'll be careful about what they say or how broad of a statement
And I
they
would
make.
think, I would think you would expect from your representatives a little more.
You're right too on the fact that the nomenclature also determines. We don't want anybody making a rule or law against full semi-auto, because that's not even a thing. Just like assault weapon isn't even a thing, but apparently it is now. But I guess what my point was going to be is that when I'm talking to somebody or listening to somebody, I can kind of judge how the conversation is going to go based on what I determine is their firearm knowledge just by the nomenclature they're using. And because if they're only using things that you hear on CNN or Fox News or whatever every day, then they don't actually have firsthand firearm experience. Where if they have a shot, even a little bit, then they're going to know a little bit more about guns than the average person who's against guns.
Well, you
And so
can't
you can
really
determine the
give
conversation. If
can't
they
really.
don't know anything besides what they've heard on the news, it's going to be a whole different conversation. You're going to have to smile and nod a whole lot, because even when you try to educate people, they don't even want to hear it. Whereas if you know a basic working of a firearm and the different action types, then at least you know that you're having an intelligent conversation with somebody, and they're more likely to listen to an opposing view.
I agree
though,
with
you're
you, but
bringing
it's
this up,
very
though.
different when you're talking about people you know, and then when you're talking about people who should know, who are legislating laws. There's a big difference.
I'm glad you brought this up, though, because I've got a stripper clip right here in the cup holder of my truck.
A stripper.
I think I'm going to put it in my pocket just in case somebody says clip, and I'm going to pull it out and go, oh, you mean one of these?
One of these?
Oh, what? You guys don't have brass and stripper clips and things like that in the cup holders in your trucks? And I didn't say pickup either. I said truck.
I would, but I don't have an SKS.
No, but I use
This
a
one's
Mosin,
this one's for an M16.
I use a Mosin stripper clip as a money clip, and they work perfectly when you have more than a few dollar bills.
Dude, that's nice. I like that.
Very cool.
I'm gonna actually do a shout out because brother Blacksmith, who's one of these, he's one of my friends, and he lives over in Canada. He actually showed me that. He's like, hey, this is what you can do with a Mosin stripper clip. He sends me this little video. He has like a bunch of those Canadian bills like wadded up in the stripper clip.
Oh, you're talking about the Monopoly money.
Yeah. No offense.
Monopoly money. Oh, those foreign countries.
I wish I could buy guns with Monopoly money. That would be fucking awesome.
Well, you can. And you get a free clipazine when you use Monopoly money.
We need to make a Monopoly. They need to make a Monopoly based around firearms. That would just be awesome. We need to come up with some where you like, instead of building hotels and stuff, you build your arsenal. Yeah, you start off with like a little gun cabinet, you work your way up to a safe, and yeah.
Full semi-auto Monopoly.
That could be the next Kickstarter for gun channels. Gunopoly, like each of us all the channels can have their own square. You can go to John Z Place, and you can go to Squibb Boulevard, and
nobody wants to go to John Z Place. Trust me.
AWAG's Asylum.
What? You got the Night Strike Red Light District, and what?
There is no red light.
Content creators right after
Gunopoly. There you go. The game of firearm capitalism. So
I'm totally into that.
Pay $200. Curious guy. What?
Community chest. You flip the card. It says bump stock legislation passes. Go to jail. Go directly to jail. Do not pass go.
Firearms.
Do not collect.
Pick up your Jimenez on the way there. Yeah.
Pick up your Sky CCW.
Yeah, CPX2.
CPX2. There you go.
Exactly.
Instead of the luxury tax spot, it's the tax stamp spot, and you have to pay $200.
If we had a gun-based Monopoly, what would the little figurines be? What would we have? We'd have like an AR and an AK,
a safety pin.
You'd have to have a
1911.
1911.
Beretta 92.
Beretta would be
a very, very squared off Glock looking one.
How about an ammo can and a full cartridge? An ammo can and a
I got a better one.
cartridge.
50 BMG cartridge.
I get the 50 cal.
Actually, what you would do
is peacemaker.
All right. So if you had a gun Monopoly board game, what vehicle would there be?
Humvee.
M1 tank.
Yeah, that's got to be a Humvee. That's America right there. That's my guess. Yeah.
I like it.
We wouldn't have to do shapes. We could just do different cartridges. Just an inert cartridge. You could have like the 22 long rifle and the 357, the 9mm. Just put a bunch of those.
40 millimeter.
Up to and including the 50 BMG.
But they have to be able to fit on the board game.
Well,
just
they can
make
be
the
scaled
board
down.
really, really big.
Down. Yeah, I think the board's just huge. You have to walk around it to move stuff. Or you actually put real firearms on the squares. That's going to be your icon. Is going to be your firearm. So
you pull a card. There you go. You pull a card out of the chance deck, and it says selling your AR-15 during panic buy. Collect $500 extra.
And you'd have range fees you have to pay when you land on other people's squares. Okay, that's not funny. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and call it. We've gone almost 2 hours in the words of NEA. So let's just see who is joining us today. We got all kinds of stuff here. Okay, AC said, I want a Monopoly card that says your Glock Forte Kaboom, pay $5,000 for medical bills. There we go. Okay, so let's just see who is joining us today, guys. We had a pretty good-sized crowd. We went almost 2 hours. Again, the whole idea was to bring some positive gun stories, and there's going to be emotion in any group, especially within our circles, whenever you start getting into firearms discussions and laws and just the ridiculous. And a lot of it is us presenting points of view that are out there, but that's not our point of view, and I think that's important to remember. Okay, so let's see who's here. We got Sean Ponnery with us. We got Steadley. We got Ben Farrell out there. Rob D, Jorge Cortez, AC97, Storm and Norm, G Works. Clint is out there. Clint, I can't say your last name because this is a PG family-friendly show. We got Midnight Range was out there. Man, a lot of you guys were really chatty. This is good. Steadley was out there. Casino Boss was joining us. David Bowling was out there. Oh, I love my chainsaw attachment for my AR. Don't we all? Let's see. Who else was with us? Grim 90 was out there today. I guess I was out there chatting up stuff a little bit. Was it Mr. Bowling? He had said every home needs a woodshed. That was probably my favorite quote from this entire chat. That's a metaphor for child discipline right there. Scott Pacini was out there chilling with us today. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. Fat, you know what? I can't say your name, was with us, which is always really cool. Yeah, lots of good stuff today, guys. So again, something different. Wasn't really topic specific. It was all about bringing out the warm fuzzies or the feels in terms of people that are under 30 years old. That's the word they use these days. Good stories about good people defending themselves, defending their lives, and stopping bad guys with firearms, whether they had to pull the trigger or not. Mac Minigan, thank you for sending me that article. Lots of good stuff. So if, again, you want something fun and positive to listen to, just listen to this chat, and we're going to be all set to go. So let's go ahead and start off with my right, since I missed him here for like a half hour. I think I did the same thing to Matt. Ellis, would you like to plug anything? Ellis, is there anything you want to mention before we go? Any show? What is your live schedule now? Because I can't keep up with you. Because like you're on Tuesdays, you're on Fridays, you're on Mondays. What's going down?
I've been doing random shows at like 1 o'clock in the morning.
So that's good though. That's good. Yeah. So do you have a set day specifically that you're gonna get your podcast out?
Yeah. I'm still doing the Tuesday shows at 6 o'clock Eastern PM. People PM. I'll never be up at 6 o'clock AM. That's just ridiculous.
So that's 5 o'clock in the time zone that matters, Central Time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bite me.
That's why we're in the center. The center. Everything revolves around us. The Earth is flat. Right. Okay, go on.
Right.
Don't say that, Alice.
And then there's the 11 o'clock PM show right after Never Enough Ammo on Monday nights.
Okay.
That used to be the 8 o'clock Thursday show. Problem is my work schedule changed, so I had to figure out somewhere to fit this show in on Mondays. Mondays is a crowded day, so
Yeah.
right after Never Enough Ammo on Monday nights is my show. So stop in, say hi. I'm there always. And then still working on getting some guests lined up. I've been doing pretty good lately.
I've been listening to your shows. They're awesome. I can't always catch them live. It's tough for me to have that time free in the evening. I try to get on and join you guys when I can, but you got some really good shows as of late, man. I got my wife subscribed to Gunpowder Beauty, and didn't you have her on the channel? Or no, it was 9mm was on there with you. Yeah. So again, we got
that was actually a very good show. I enjoyed the hell out of that.
Yeah.
So I'm working on some other things, and I've decided I'm going to start looking into getting some podcast out there on some regular podcast channels and stations and stuff. So it's moving right along.
Good. No, man, it's you can make of it whatever you want to. That's the important thing. Whatever you want it to make it into, it's what you can do, man. So good stuff. All right. So thank you for joining us today, buddy. John Z, anything you want to say before we go?
I just want to say thank you for the invite. Awesome chat. Thank you everyone for joining us. I hope everybody has a great weekend.
Definitely.
Don't forget to check out Gun Channels and all your creators on there. Okay. And let's support one another. Yes. And just stay positive.
Quick question is, I know that the Gun Channel site is under construction. It's looking really good. People that want to sign up for new accounts, is that working okay? The sign-up joining process, is anybody messaging you talking about having any issues? Or are we safe to recommend people go over there and sign up and get their accounts going?
I don't know what the deal is with it yet, because G-Webs is still trying to find out if they're able to fix it. It's not on G-Web side, it's on the software people hosting it side. Something crashed over there. So he's still working on that. But as far as like seeing who's on the gun channels and adding and subscribing to those channels, whether it be on YouTube or their Instagrams or their Twitters or whatever, some people I've been able to go to their pages, some people not.
Yeah.
I don't know what the deal with that is or when it's going to be available, but it doesn't hurt to check it out now, even with the site being the way it is.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's fun to still poke around a little bit. I know my channel comes up with an error 505, but that'll probably be resolved here soon. So
yeah,
that's good. Yeah, it's going to look awesome. It's already looking awesome right now. It's nice and clean. It's easy to find stuff, and I do like it. So guys, get over to gunchannels.com. Make sure you get your account signed up if you have not yet done so. Great place to get advice and information. Great group of people. Like I said, I've made more friends there than I think I've made anywhere short of, say, high school, growing up as a kid. So it's just an awesome place to get to meet people and talk and chat, and it's a good place, man. We need more of that, I think, out there. We definitely need more of that. All right, Squibby, anything you want to say before we call it, bud?
Monday nights, 8 Eastern, lock and load. We try to do a show every week, and freedom and liberty, man.
All right. Hey, you be safe at that rally today. It'd be nice to hear how it went. If you get a chance to report about it, it'd be nice to see what people were doing or what people were saying. If you can post some pics on Instagram or anything, or any way you can get some information out there in the social media.
Budget Guns and Gear is going to try to broadcast from there, depending on if his cell phone battery holds out.
Okay.
And I may take some pictures or something, or I don't know. I'll text you. Maybe I'll shoot a short video and finally post something on my damn channel, seeing how
I'll share it. I'll push it out there, man. Yeah.
I just, I tried making a second video. I looked at it. I go, no, this one's just no good either. I've got a channel, and I appreciate the people who've subscribed to me, even though I have no content, but I'm just not happy with my work. So maybe if I just shoot a short video and just let other people, maybe somebody up on the steps talking or something like that, and just post it, maybe that'll be better than nothing.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with you completely, man. Got to get some stuff out. We just let people know that these rallies they're up and running and they're going on again, and we need to act up. All right, so Sandhills, what do you think, man? Anything you want to announce before we call it? Anything you want to say before we go? The countdown to Tulsa continues.
Tulsa!
Tulsa, woo, Tulsa bound. I'm just pumped up they got a Whataburger. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be the highlight
God, I haven't had
of the meals. What's that?
I haven't had a Whataburger in, like, I don't know, 10, 20 years.
Dude, it's awesome. The sweet and spicy burger is the bomb. I'm telling you right now, it's so
I
good.
know they
So
have
good.
them in. They had them in Arizona. Okay.
Okay. Well, I didn't realize they were that far west. I thought it was just straight down, Oklahoma, Texas.
No, they're all over Texas. They're all over Arizona. They used to have a bunch of them in California, but I think they kind of went away because it's California.
Lucky. All right, so we'll wait for Sandhills to come back. I know that he's at work right now. He might be away from his phone, but Nice Strike, anything you want to say before we go?
I'm going to Tulsa.
All right, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen.
What is happening? It is happening as we speak. That is right.
Probably get the plane ticket on Monday. So
I'm just excited for some of the podcasts that we can host or some of the rounds. We should have our own roundtable discussion.
Well, here's the thing: if we all use that hotel that Psycho Camp has arranged for us to get discounts at, use that hotel, and if we can, just start up a podcast, via someone's cell phone, and just do it in like one of the lounge areas that they've got.
Yeah, they probably have Wi-Fi. I don't know if you can get it outside. I was gonna say they have a couple outdoor patio areas and stuff. I think there's gonna be a lot of good content that's gonna come out of it.
Because remember, a lot of hotel lobbies have just lounges that are empty most of the time.
Yeah,
they're there for the guests to use, but nobody ever uses it. Why not take advantage of that?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be a good time, man, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So that's the Wanamaker Gun Show. For those of you that don't know what we're talking about with the whole Tulsa discussion, I mean,
and most of you guys at this point, Firearms Museum.
Yes, that is awesome. I've seen that. I remember seeing a picture from that last year. It looks very, very cool. So
yeah,
yes,
cannot wait.
All right. So quick announcement here. The artist formerly known as Mad Sexy Man of the Night is now becoming Gunsmoke Is That Better at 50 Caliber Karma. Or no, is that his name? I don't know, because Mad Sexy's changed his name now. Is he just going to Gunsmoke?
His names just keep getting shorter and shorter.
I can't keep up with the man. He's always evolving. He's constantly evolving into something new.
Soon he's just going
I thought
to
his name was
just going to be Gun.
He's just going to be S.
Just S.
His name was Clovertack made me change my name.
Oh yeah. That's right. He's gone through all these different evolutions. We need a tabletop review on that one. So, all right, man. Okay, so Nice Strike Tuesday nights, hit or miss, 9:00 Eastern time. Everybody needs to come and listen and check it out. Also, you got your Friday Night Strike going on too. Is that correct?
The Friday Night Strike.
Mm-hmm.
Not 8 Eastern. So yeah, that's what we're doing. And well, I'll also do this. Also, I don't know if we got a time lockdown on Sundays, but Rant and Rave with Roll Call and Night Strike.
Oh, cool.
We're doing that on Roll Call's channel.
Sounds fun. Nice.
So check out Roll Call 219 on YouTube.
If we have an updated program guide of all the podcasts that we have going on, I mean, it's pretty much it's almost 24/7 anymore, where there's always going to be something over on Gun Channels you can listen to, or one of us is pushing a live podcast over on YouTube. So yeah.
And I just want to remind people, if you do have an issue doing something on Gun Channels, people are always posting their channel and their podcast when it's happening. So always look on the front page when you get onto the gunchannelswebsite.com.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Good stuff, man. All right. Let's see. Jim, anything you want to say before we go?
Squib, I don't know if you've seen this or not, but it looks like Hickok 45 is pushing that rally in Ohio. So
yeah, I'm going to, if I see him there, I will say that I've changed my opinion on his stance as far as supporting these things. I don't think he's obligated. He's a private citizen and he has the right to say, no, I'm not doing this. But I've been complaining for months about, why don't these big channels just go, look, we're not going to be there, or if we're there, we don't have time to sign 5,000 autographs. But just to let you know, there's going to be a rally on this date at this time. Check this website for it, or do a Google search. You'll find out about it. How much that takes? 30 seconds. And when they're there plugging all their sponsors and everything else, you tell me they can't just drop that in. For him to go, that's great. That's above and beyond, because there's so many fanboys out there just going to go just to see him. They watch his channel. They watch his channel, or they watch some of the other big channels, but they're not pro 2A. It's entertainment for them. But still, it gets him out there, and that's good. But I don't think he's obligated to do it. I just think that these bigger channels, I think that it would set a good example, and it would be a good thing if they took their large audience and just made a few of these short announcements. That's all.
And
Right.
you know what's good? The sad thing is I've since unsubscribed to those big channels because they weren't there back in November when we needed them, and they weren't there the last couple months. So I wouldn't even know if those big channels are mentioning anything anymore because I gave up on it because they gave up on us.
I'm not going to get in line to try to get Greg's autograph, okay? I'm not that, I mean, I like the content he puts out most of the time and stuff like that. And I think it's great that he is probably the biggest channel out there on the gun side, and he doesn't swear and he doesn't do a lot of things. You don't see Hickok 45 on the Inquirer, that sort of thing. I think he sets a good example and that sort of thing. But yeah, I'm not going to get in this long line and go, "Hey, Greg, how's it going?"
Yeah, in fact, that was on Facebook, by the way.
Oh, Facebook. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
but
at least he's doing something.
Yeah, it's and I see, I see a couple of these bigger channels finally coming around to being a little more activist. That can't be a bad thing. Some of them had to be shamed into it a little bit, but that's okay.
Now they're about to lose their guns. Now they care. Now they're about to lose their YouTube channel, and they suddenly care, huh?
Yep.
Now, if John came with him and they brought Derek, I would get in line to get Derek's autograph. So, full disclosure on that.
And you still wouldn't want my autograph if I showed up? What the heck?
Yep.
Oh, the other John. Never mind.
Yeah, Big John, not John Z.
The John. It just says the John on the panel and click on your name, so you were the John. So.
No, I want to get Travis P11's autograph in Tulsa. That's what I'm going for.
Well, it's funny you would mention that because
and then we'll sell it on eBay.
I'm gonna be doing a subscriber giveaway here pretty soon to push the Travis P11 merch because I got the Spreadshirt store slowly coming around. We got Ghost Tactical design my logo, so I'll send out some autographed T-shirts. Heck yeah.
Also, you guys, it's a little quiet right now, but go check out the 2A Capital Rally page on Facebook. Hopefully, they're starting to be a little more pickup of what's happening in certain states. So, and just keep your eyes peeled, and hopefully, we can get some more of these things going and get them well attended.
Oh, exactly. Now it's getting personal. Now they are going to be coming for your guns, and so now I think you definitely need to wake up and get active and do what you can to try to prevent further infringement of your rights. It's that simple,
And clearly we're not going to hit one date at this point because some of these states had to act quickly, but we still need to make it happen.
Yep.
Not having them all on the same day though may strategically work out better for us because of things like me being able to drive down to Columbus or somebody being able to come up to Lansing, or Indianapolis might be a little bit far. Maybe might be able to do that. If it was on a Sunday, I probably could. But
hey, if you guys can go out to
us being able to support each other that way, you can't do it if they're all on the same day. But I'd still like to see the big national Washington D.C. thing that Night Strike was talking about. I think that doesn't need to get ignored. I think at some point we need to get everybody together and try to do a Washington D.C. thing.
Exactly. We need to show strength in numbers.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you. Finally, something I said is catching on.
Hey, Night Strike, I don't always agree with you, but when I heard you say that, I was totally on board. I was there thinking, I'll use vacation time. Now that I finally have vacation time at work, yay! I'll use vacation time if I have to, or put off buying another gun if it meant going to D.C. for a weekend to go to a rally like that. So
guys, I'm making the ultimate sacrifice to go to Tulsa. So I'm selling one of my guns just so I can go to Tulsa.
There we go.
See ya, AWAG.
All right, so AWAG, have a great birthday, man. Thanks for joining us. Real quick, AWAG, we got some material. New content coming to your channel, AWAG? Stuff we should be looking for?
Potentially. I'm
more
kind of in the confusing stage. Like, what do I do? What's this? Like, I need ideas for content that don't involve exploding brand new iPhones. But I gotta hop out and hopefully pick up my my Howa today with its new barrel. Hopefully, because it's been like a month when they said, "Oh, it'll only be like 3 weeks," and it's been like 3 weeks. 6 weeks later.
Hey, listen, just don't do the Sean Connery receipt 12 months later.
Exactly.
I hope not. All right, I'm out, guys.
All right, man. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for having me on.
Cool.
Happy birthday, AK boy.
Thank you.
So somebody needs to make a meme for Night Strike. It's the most interesting man in the world. I don't always agree with Night Strike, but when I do,
I shoot.
When I do,
5.56.
we meet in Washington D.C.
there you go.
I don't always agree with Night
And then
Strike,
put
but
and
when
then
I
put at
do,
the
it's
bottom
because
shall not
he
be
said shall not be
infringed.
infringed.
That's
There
right.
we go.
I don't always agree with Night Strike, but I stayed at a Holiday Inn last night,
There you
and I
go.
feel much better.
I don't always agree with Night Strike, but dang, that's a nice dress.
Snap.
Anyway, and on that note, no. All right. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching today. I hope you had a good time. This is just kind of a little bit of a free for all. Good guy stories in the news. Educate yourself. Educate those around you. Be a good person, guys. That's all I got to say. Have yourselves a great weekend. This has been episode number 35. See, guns do save lives. Thanks for watching, guys. Next week, I don't know if I'll have an episode next week. It is my wife's birthday, so we may be going out of town. We may have family coming out here. I don't know yet.
Oh, happy
Things are
birthday.
kind of up in the air. So, yeah, she's going to be her birthday. All these March birthdays. This is crazy. It's anyway, what's going on? But I'll let you guys know for sure if there's going to be one or not. We may do one before we take off on Saturday, or if we have family come out here. It's always up in the air. My family just decides at the last minute to come out here, and I'm fine with that. So it's all good. Anyway, guys, this has been Caliber Corner number 35. Y'all take care. Have yourselves a great weekend. Again, remember, protect your 2A rights and get active. Get out in the community. Get over to gunchannels.com. And I think that's about it. So have a great weekend, guys. We'll talk to you soon.